Hey, what's up, IGN? My name is Jose Otero. I'm joined by Kallie Plagge. What's up?
Hi, how are you?
And we are taking a closer look at Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which was
Yes.
just announced for 3DS last week. So I'm going to rewind a little bit already because here we have our look at the first Amiibo based card thing game
Yeah.
stuff. So, right across the bat, we have what? Isabelle, Peanut.
Isabel, Peanut, and Goose. Peanut and Goose are kind of random. I'm not sure why those in particular, but
Yep, yep.
Isabel's a big one. I'm surprised there's not an Isabel like standalone amiibo, like an actual
Yeah,
physical.
that a lot of people will buy that.
Yeah,
Everybody loves
I would buy
Isabelle.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are numbers at the top of these
Yeah.
cards. Not sure if that indicates that there are at least more than 95 of these cards. One would guess.
Yeah, I mean there's tons of villagers, so it could easily get over 95.
Yeah, it could
So
get a little crazy. Also, at the bottom, you'll notice there are numbers underneath each card as well. So I wonder if that's their birthday. That would make the
that's
most sense for me.
yeah, because I think if you there's some sort of it's a astrological sign next to that, so that's probably the birthday.
Hmm.
Because like there's whatever the scales are, I forget,
Yep.
Gemini or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's or it's not Gemini because it's October, but yeah, so that's probably what that is.
Okay, cool, cool. So let's push forward a little bit here. You've seen the logo. So this is a 3DS game that looks a bit smaller than a traditional Animal Crossing, at least in terms of the way it was described. But you are tasked as the designer, and each villager has a request. So this villager wants a stylish and urban space. But more importantly than what the game is about is how you're actually interfacing with this game. So Callie, what's the
Yes.
big thing right there?
The huge thing is the grid system, which we did not have in New Leaf, which makes it a lot easier to figure out where you're actually placing things.
Yeah.
In New Leaf, you kind of just do some guesswork and push and pull, and it gets a little irritating
Yeah.
when you get to more complicated designs. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they start out like Animal Crossing has needed this for years. I felt especially in New Leaf when you were outdoors and setting up certain things in the town, there was a lot of
Yes.
guessing involved. Although this is strictly interiors, I hope to see this applied across the board for future Animal Crossings
Yeah,
because
me
it's something
too.
they need.
You have to talk to Isabel 1,000 times to get the
Yeah, and
garbage
even
can in the right place.
yeah, even two things at once. This was the other thing that really
Yes.
surprised me. It was just it's not
It's
just a simple system. It's something that works simply but does a lot more.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of The Sims 3 actually when you grab a desk and a chair, they link them together. That's kind of what it looks like a couch and a coffee table looks like they link together somehow
Hmm.
and you can move them at the same time. So it's kind of reminiscent of that for me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
funny enough, the rotation here, anyone who's played Animal Crossing knows rotation is always a thing you see, but it looks like it's all completely hand free. Everything
Yes.
that is getting done here is being done by the female villager right here. And if you notice, her hand is sort of covering over. I mean, it's not an iPad, we know that, but
Yeah.
it's definitely some sort of an object that I guess in some ways she's using to move some of these things, including rugs. Which again, when things, as you said, get a little complicated, it became sort of I've like in past Animal Crossings, I'd have to take out that
Yep.
table. I'd
Yep.
probably have to move that couch.
Yeah,
Like
if you
this
have
gets
anything
out
on
of
the
it.
table, that goes off too.
Yep.
You got to empty your pockets. It's a whole thing.
Meanwhile, you're putting stuff on top of tables. Like this is cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I like
stoked.
it. I like it. All right, so let's see what else we got here. So this is home fit for a bookworm. A bookworm. Uh, okay. And sorry, I had a moment there. And there we see once again. So I'm actually checking her birthday really quick. It is
Oh.
December 20th, so
All
that
right,
those
so
are the
the
birthdays. We know
theory
that for a fact.
Confirmed. Those
Also,
are
her
birthdays.
name in other territories, I would imagine, as Marie and Canella,
Yes,
which
that
I'm
makes
not
sense.
entirely sure. Yeah, that is right. Although I'm not sure where it's Canella. I guess that's Spain, but Marie, you
Marie
know which flag that is?
that is France.
Looks like.
Oh man, geography. All
Yeah,
right.
we're working it out.
Yeah.
But these are the first card-based Amiibo game, and you're going to see that work with your 3DS. So if you have a new Nintendo 3DS, you're going to be able to just scan them right in. And yeah, just take a look around. Like my biggest question right now though is after you make the house, sort of what happens, and is that
Yes.
fun? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Like they're
Hmm.
showing, more villagers can come visit the house, but it's not clear like what you really get from it
Yeah.
outside of the satisfaction of having completed a house.
And then another
Um,
question you and I were talking about earlier, which is that in a New Leaf, Street Pass worked really well to help you share items.
right.
How are you getting items? Are the items tied to the cards? Are the items shared? because if the items are tied to the cards, then Street Pass will kind of defeat the purpose of using the cards to a degree.
Right. It's
Or
it's
maybe.
like doubling down on it almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, all right, do you unlock items like in New Leaf? Is there any New Leaf connection? It's not really clear here. So there's a lot of questions.
Yep,
that I
absolutely. Cool, cool. And here we see just a few more. And you take photos. You can share them potentially on Miiverse, and then you leave.
Yes.
Well, there you have it, folks. That is a quick look at Happy Home Designer, the next Animal Crossing game, which is coming in the fall of 2015. And if you don't have that new 3DS, don't worry. This thing exists. Well, it's an NFC reader for sure, but it's gotten significantly bigger if you haven't noticed already. But it will, through one can imagine, infrared. It's probably going to beam that over. I'm not entirely sure because if that is an infrared port, they're not exactly lined up. Which I know with infrared, that's kind of a thing. But
it might just be they did that for the picture, but
but you have options if you don't want to upgrade. So there you have it. All right, and for more Animal Crossing coverage, make sure you keep it right here at IGN.